नमस्कार जगदीश जी।
नमस्ते नमस्ते।
नमस्ते। हरिओम।
हरि ओम।
हरिओम।
हरिओम। नमस्ते।
Namaste.
Namaste everyone.
Everybody.
नमो नमः। Minimize. You see two Rajis here, one English Raji, one Devanagari Raji. Which Raji is which?
Devanagari Raji is Kannada Raji.
English Raji is Raji Sridhar.
All right. Okay, because I know both of them.
Yeah.
All right. That was my guess. Just confirming. Okay. Our 2 minutes are up. So let's start with the prayer. One male voice and one female voice can join the prayer. So see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Start the prayers. Om Gajanana Padmarkam
Gajanana Mahanisan
Ekadantam
Anekadantam
Bhaktanam Ekadantam Upasmahe Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryaravavahai Tejasnavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Vakyakaram Varuruchim
Vakyakaram Varuchim
Bhashyakaram Patanjalim
Bhashyakaram Patanjalim
Paninim Sutrakarancha
Panim Sutrakarancha
Pranatosmi Munitrayam
Pranatosmi Munitrayam
Atha Maheshwara Sutrani
Atha Maheshwara Sutrani
Ayi Un
Ayun
Rilrik
Rilrik
Evong
Eom
Ay Ouch
Ayouch
Ayabarat
Ayavarat
Man
Lan
Nyamangananam
Yamananam
Jabhanya
Javanya
Ghadadash
Khadadha
Jabagadadash
Jabagadash
Kapha Chatatha Chatatau
Kapha Chata
Kapai
Kapai
Shashasar
Shashatar
Hal
Hal
Iti Maheshwarani Sutrani.
Iti Maheshwarani Sutrani.
Correct. It is Maheshwarani Sutrani. Ma Dirgha. Yes.
Maheshwara.
Yeah, Maheshwara is the person. That which came from him becomes Maheshwara. Okay. So let's go back for a few seconds to the presentation I had for the Shivoham Sandhi. I think, did we finish this presentation part or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay. So I think we did cover several steps. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I we just got some examples, familiar examples, which we have come here all the time. And see, this approach, the way I am doing, is a little different than the textbook or any textbooks. Generally, in the textbooks, if they're trying to do it, teach it through the Panini Sutras, they bring up the sutras first and then give the example. I am going to do that the other way. Looks like when I did this way for the first time and during the 5-week course in ashram, I think everybody liked this approach. My assumption there is that, okay, this is what, while making the sutras, Panini might have encountered. He has seen some common examples and then analyzed those examples, found out the common denominators, and tried to fit it into certain curve fitting or a formula. Then came up with a formula which suits many of those examples, all the examples, or maybe one or two outliers. Then he consolidated his sutras as the equation, like any scientist will do while deriving an equation from general observation. So we are going from the observation rather than going from the formula and giving the examples. We are going from the observation, which is very easy to find, and then to find out what is the common link, how this rule might have come about. Okay, so this is our Visarga Sandhi rule number 1, which is the nickname is the Shivoham Sandhi. So the Purvapada ends with a and Visarga, and Parapada starts with a and Visarga. So right now what we are doing is we take some examples commonly known and then break it and see what the Purvapada ends in and what the Parapada starts with, what is the common factor. So those are the steps. Okay, so we know the words Shivoham, Nimisho Nimishaha, we have heard, Kshetrajñokshara, we have heard, Ishto Vishishta, we have heard, Dekinospini, we have heard. Now, that is generally when we chant it as a one word, because whenever there's chanting is involved, generally the sandhis are made. Okay. So now, let's look at those words and see whether we can break it at the right place. When we break the sandhi, the two words should make sense. Okay. If it is a sandhi between the two words, which all these examples are, sandhi can happen within the word also. That examples I don't pick now, and it is not the good time to pick because we haven't been into formation of word. But because we are involved with chanting, heard a lot of these words, we know that the common word after making the sandhi as we chant it, and also we have some idea what likely is the two components of the word. What is the Purvapada and what is the Parapada? So the second line here is, second line is there are 4 lines, but I put Devanagari as well as Roman letters for the first few slides, even though it's a lot of time consuming process to do it in both the languages. I know that there are certain people who are still getting some fluency in Devanagari. So for helping them, I put both of them. Okay. So Shivoham, we know that Shivoham, Aham is a word, Shivaha is a word. So that's most likely Shivaha, Aham. Okay. Nimisho, Nimishaha. Again, last week, I think somebody pointed out some typo, so I corrected it. And again, because there is so much of typing and some font size adjustments and then transliteration and all those things, there may be some typos. If somebody notices the typos, let me know, even though you understand, because these slides are going to be there for some time. I wanted to correct when I know that there is some error. Okay, so
Jagdish,
yeah.
there is a typo, Nimisho Ninimashaha.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the double one last time and somebody mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay. I still, let me. Okay. Better now? That is
Yeah.
easy. Okay. So all of this. So we have a combined word made after the sandhi. Okay. So the first step is to break the sandhi to see what the rules are. Okay. What I'm saying is we are going reverse way. So let's find out. So Shivaha and Aham, both the words are very familiar words and valid words. Each of them has a vibhakti ending. Okay, Shivaha, Aham. Why I say specifically vibhakti ending is that because both the words have the status of pada. Okay, because to have a status of pada, it should be either a vibhakti ending or a kriya ending. Like a thing, it should be a tiṅanta or subanta. All the words here are subantas, incidentally. Okay, there's nothing preventing making a sandhi between tiṅanta and subanta. It can be done, but we get a lot more examples of subanta sandhi than subanta tiṅanta sandhi because there are a lot fewer tiṅanta words in a sentence, just one or two, whereas it might have any number of subanta words. So we get more examples for subanta sandhi. Okay, Shivaha Aham, we know. Nimishaha, Animishaha, we know. Okay. We don't worry about the meaning much. If all these are meaningful words, they have their meanings. Okay, but we don't want to deviate because in Vyakarana, our primary importance is how the words come about, and the meaning is secondary. Okay, only time when we give equal importance to meaning is when we talk about samasa, because there the process involves the meaning also. Other places we are interested in the letters, varnas, aksharas, and the padas. Okay, nimishaha, animishaha, kshetrajnaha, aksharaha, kshetrajnokshara, ishtaha, avishishtaha. Okay, dehinaha, asmin. Okay, so this is after breaking the sandhi where we can identify both sides of the equation. Now let's find out what is the common denominator. Okay, if you look at this, all the purva padas end with aha, visarga preceded by akara. Okay, I show that anything that has to be before the place of change or before the reaction, before the plus sign. Okay, I will start showing them all in blue letters now onwards. Okay, and that is the purva varna. The letters or the varnas that has to come after the sandhi, after the plus sign. Okay, or paravarna. I will show them with the red. I think I will stick to this color code. Later on, when we go to Swara Sandhi, where we talk about Panini Sutras, I will bring in two more colors representing two other factors involved in the Sandhi. Okay, we will not bring them in here in the Visarga Sandhi. Visarga Sandhi, we are doing like a little more like a overall view, bird's eye view. Okay, so common feature here on both sides. Okay, Purva Varna and Paravarna are exactly same. Okay, Purva Varna is A and Visarga, and Paravarna is Akara, short A. Okay, in all the 5 cases. Okay, so I separated them. Now, what is the first step you do? You find out what are the Varnas. So my parenthesis means those inside the parenthesis are the participants in the sandhi process, and outside the parenthesis they are there but they are not active participants because they're too far away from the point of action. Okay, so these common features in both Devanagari as well as in Roman letters. Okay, now because of the process, the sandhi process, as we said, if the purvapada ends with aha, parapada starts with akara, then the aha will change into o. That is the shivoham. Shiv plus aha. Okay, shiv, aha plus aham become shiv o plus aham. So that is what happened here. Shiv plus aha will become shiv plus o. Okay, the paravarna akara is necessary to cause the change, but it remains as it is even after the sandhi is done. Okay, so shivo. So the result of the process or the sandhi or any change, the result of the change, I will start showing in purple letters and thicker letters because they just came in and it's going to stay because that is the result. Okay, that is the convention I am going to follow. So that is common again. So the aha became O. The aha at the end of the Purvapada became O in all the cases. So this is a kind of a perfect fit. All the examples fit into this line. Okay, now this O immediately followed by a akara will not change the pronunciation, but for grammatical purposes, it is indicated, the presence of this unpronounced is indicated by avagraha. Okay, so shivoham, and that is what? So this is the last step here is the same as the very first where we started. So we started, broke the thing, found out the common features, justified what the sandhi rule said, like aha plus a becoming o plus a, which is pronounced as o itself. So that is what we have here finally. Actually, in the last class, I had one more row, but I erased the last one, which is a repetition of the top row, just to make some room for what I'm going to show now. This one was not there last class on the same page. To create room, I had to take out the one obvious, the first one. So what is the common feature here? Purva Varna. In all the cases, the Purva Varna was aha. Visarga preceded by a. Okay. What is the Paravarna? Oh, this is no, this is from a different. Sorry, yeah, this should not. So the Paravarna is just akara only. I think I copied and pasted something. So let's correct it now itself. Oops. Okay, so Paravarna is akara again. So now we can make up the rule.
Akara, Mahodaya, akara without a visarga, right?
Yeah, the Paravarna doesn't have, I thought I removed it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so the Purva Varna is with Visarga because this Visarga Sandhi. Purva Varna has to have a Visarga, otherwise we can't discuss in this section. And Paravarna without Visarga, the word starts with Akara. So as a result, the aha, the Purva Varna only changes, it changes into just Akara. Effectively, the Visarga drops. So let me make it big. Okay, so this is the Purva Varna, common denominator of the Purva Varna is aha. Common denominator for the Paravarna is Akara. The result, Visargasya Lopaha, the Visarga drops. Okay, so for the Visarga to drop, these are the conditions to be met. Okay, so the Purva Varna should have a Visarga which is preceded by Rasva A, and the Paravarna, after the Visarga, what you encounter is a Rasva Akara. If that condition is met, okay, there is a Akara followed by Visarga, followed by another Akara, then the Visarga drops, and that is the result. Okay, so I will stick to the color code. The Purva Varna or the conditions to be met before the point of action or to the left of the point of action will be in blue. And the condition to be met by the whatever there is after the plus sign, that will be in red. And the change that happens, whether it's for the Purva Varna or Paravarna, whatever the change happens, the result of the reaction will be in purple. Okay, so this is the process. Now we will go back to the book. This is all additional information I added. Generally, people don't discuss in this much detail, but because of the non-homogeneous composition of the class, I have to give all the details so that everybody is on board, okay, including the Devanagari and English letters. Any questions? Now we'll go back to the PDF of the
I
book.
have questions, Jagdishji.
Yeah.
A really dumb question, but aha becomes O.
Yeah.
And what is the reason it becomes so? Is there a specific reason it becomes?
No, there is no reason. That is how
I'm a
it
science
is
guy, that's
seen
why.
in the literature, right from
Okay.
the Vedic time.
Okay, got it.
Okay, see, I can understand, with our curiosity, most of us are, are in technical fields, and we generally have a rational bent of mind. We generally look for causes. That is the reason why grammar teachers always say that grammar is post-scribed. The rules were made to fit what was existing in the literature. Okay, to
Got it.
explain what is literature. So the explain, whenever they said Shivaha Aham, what was there even before? Vedic thing. Any Vedic prayer that ends with Oham? Soham. Okay, so Veda Vakya, right? Soham. So Saha Aham was there way before Panini came up with the Visarga Sandhi rules.
Same way with people used to play football. Then afterward, they made the rules and regulations.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that may be a good analogy. Okay, so the rules.
Thank you, Dr. Kildani.
Yeah, the game was there from the scratch. You can't say why they kicked with the feet and all those things. Okay, they were there. The rules were written down later on, observing the features of what was existing. When I say literature, include the Vedas, because that's the starting point for the grammar literature. Okay, I don't mean the later literature. This anything that is written or read or taught.
Jagdisha ji, one question.
Yeah.
There were 4 types of sandhis, right? Adeshaha, Agamaha, Lopaha,
Okay.
and
You don't
Bhavaha.
say that 4 types of sandhis.
Okay.
4 types of changes can happen during a sandhi.
Okay, 4 types of changes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Now, the Shivoham sandhi, is that
Yeah.
Adeshaha or Lopaha?
Adesha.
Okay. What do you think?
Adeshaha.
Adesha.
So something is getting replaced, right? So it is a adesha. But in the Visarga Sandhi, don't try to put that under that, because this, as I mentioned last class, and some people ask for more details, this Sandhi, the aha is becoming O, okay?
Right.
That step involves 3 different steps, 3 different sutras, and all the 3 of them might have different adeshas.
Okay.
Okay, so if you go that way, see, just don't worry about this complexity. Okay, just because you raised the question I mentioned. Okay, so the whatever we call Visarga now is actually was a sakara. Okay, because in the Pratama Vibhakti, Shivaha is Pratama Vibhakti. Pratama Vibhakti is the original form is the Shivas, and in the Vibhakti table it becomes Shivaha. So that sakara will become Repa. That is first step Adesha. Okay.
Okay.
Replacement. Okay. Sakara replaced by Repa. Now that Repa under certain condition will become Ukara. So that is the second replacement. So that is why I'm saying there are 3 replacements before we get the O.
Okay.
Okay. Adesha. Adesha is there, but I don't want to complicate it now because it is not one step process. When we talk about the Swara Sandhis and Vyanjana Sandhis, then the Sandhis are simpler, okay? Because there is in one step you can show the Adesha, and that is how I am going to approach it.
Okay.
Okay. Here, because there is not a single step process, I am not saying that it is Adesha, but it is a multiple Adesha. What you have shown here is, like the software creators say, this is the input, this is the front end.
Okay.
Okay, the O is the front end. There is a lot of three things happening behind the screen.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Ekaśeṣa ji.
Okay. So right now you think that okay, aha is replaced by O for till the end of Visarga Sandhi. That is the extent of details we go. We don't go deeper than that. It will complicate the issue. Okay. Because Visarga Sandhi is little more complicated because it involves Swara Sandhi as well as Vyanjana Sandhi as the sub-steps. Okay, did I answer? There were two questions. Any other questions? Then if not, we will go to the next 2A. Or we will go to the book because there are some exercises in the book. Okay.
Mahodaya, I have a question.
Yeah.
I think in this case, it's not just Adesha, even if you just take the last step, it is also a Lopaha. Because the second, the Parva.
See, there are three Adeshas and one Lopa happening. So I am just trying to say that don't worry about that. Right now, just think that aha is replaced by O when this aha is followed by A.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So it's not one-step process. I've been telling that Visarga Sandhis are never one-step process. If it's one-step process, then we can say it is Adesha, Lopa, Agama, all those things we can say. Okay. Now here, actually, there are three Adesha steps and one Lopa step. But what I'm saying is that this is the two inputs, aha ending and starting. The result is O plus A. So this is just the visible form. Okay, if you look at the sub-steps, there are both Adesha and Lopa, both of them are there. And some people have asked for those details. If you go there step by step, that is when you see where Adesha happening and what others. So that is not necessary for everybody to see. So don't get scared about that. So I still mention that only if you are confident that you can understand the steps, then only see it. That is not necessary to understand because at this stage, because the textbook, that is the reason why the textbook didn't go through all the steps. Okay. Once we are done with all the topic, then if you're a little more curious, okay, Visarga Sandhi, we skipped a couple of steps there. I want to go back to see each of the steps. Okay, that stage you can do because you have to know about both Swara Sandhi and Vyanjana Sandhi to understand the steps involved in the Visarga Sandhi, including this Shivoham. Clear?
Yep.
All right. Now let me stop sharing and share screen on the textbook. Let's minimize this. Okay, you see the presentation now, or the textbook, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make it a little bigger. Okay, so nothing new here. Okay, this is how it is presented in the book. I went into a lot more detail. Generally, I would rather have the presentation and this one side by side, but that reduces your viewing area, height of the viewing area. That's why I am switching between the two. Okay, so I am on the PDF now, which is the Visarga Sandhi or Shivoham Sandhi, aha plus A becoming O. So look at the chart, Purva letter. Now actually this, the oval on the left and the Visarga are together are part of the Purvapada, okay, Purva Varna. Okay. So A followed by Visarga followed by A, short A. Okay, you will end up with O and Avagraha. When a Visarga preceded by Hraswa A and followed by Hraswa A, all together will be replaced by O. Okay, pronunciation wise it is O only, but while writing it is better to write the Avagraha because of the Akara and pronouns. Okay, Namaha Astu Namostu Namaha Makara plus Akara plus Visarga plus A. So Namaha Nam plus Aha will become Nam plus O. Namo plus Astu Namostu. Okay, now this is where you have some homework now onwards. Okay, and any time if I finish the Sandhi, there is homeworks. Okay, so I want everybody to do the homework. Check yourself, and if you know somebody in the class, you can discuss among yourself whether it's right or not, and correct yourself. Okay, no grading or anything. I might, whenever I come across an exercise, I will might do one on each kind. That is how I used to do, one on each kind, and other things you can do yourself. Okay, so let's do one. This is resolving the sandhi. Okay, so a lot of times a good exercise is to how to resolve. Making the sandhi is generally easy because we are used to make the sandhi while pronouncing. While resolving the sandhi is necessary for the understanding. So the first thing in any understanding of anything, whether it's Gita or Upanishads, first thing is breaking the sandhi or padachedaha, breaking into words. Okay. So we are very common, we see this at the end of every chapter in Gita, pratamodhyayaha. So this is the exercise we will do, the first one, and maybe we'll take something later. Pratamodhyayaha. Okay, any one of you just tell me exactly what you will fill up in the first blank and the second blank.
Pratamaha adhyayah.
Adhyayah.
So pratama, before the person is pratamaha, ends with the visarga. Before the visarga, there's a akara of a, and the parapada starts with of adhyaya. Okay, simple. This is the simplest sandhi. Okay, this is all breaking the sandhi. Let's take one of making the sandhi. Okay, apply the visarga sandhi rule to join the two words. Okay, now this is something you have to write. It's because while pronouncing, you may not say, may not catch everything, but while writing, if there is a mistake, it will be picked up. Okay, let's say not the common one. Okay, let's take number 13, bad number.
Number 13.
Kaha anyah asti.
Okay.
Onyosti.
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 One of you tell me, how will you write it?
Ko anyosti.
Ko avagraha anyo avagraha sti.
Yes. Okay. Ko avagraha anyo avagraha sti. Exact. Okay. These are two sandhis. There are three words, and the same sandhi happens in both because both the first word ends with a, second word starts with a. First and the second word ends with aha, and third word starts with a. So there are two exact same sandhi happening twice, and it's a very good example. The short word. Okay. So
can I ask a question, please? This is
yeah.
Ram. Now the completed word was konyo asti, right?
Yeah.
What is the trick to find out there is a kaha, there are anya and asti, three words?
Okay.
Is there a rule or it is a
No,
vocabulary?
there is no rule. This is what you do. Okay. Now, somebody already answered exactly how you write. You write ko avagraha, nya avagraha, nyo avagraha, ko avagraha, nyo avagraha, and sti avagraha, or sti. Okay. Now, you know, the resolving the sandhi is common sense. So you look for if there is an avagraha. So that is where sandhi happened. So that avagraha was the akara of the parapada.
Yeah.
Make sense? Just using common sense.
Yes.
Okay.
I was thinking there could be a general rule.
No, there is no general rule. Okay. Use common sense.
Okay.
I have a question. This is Gayatri.
Yeah.
So it'll be konyosti.
Yeah.
So sti is still there.
Yeah, sti is still there. The avagraha is part of sti. So it was the akara of asti.
Yeah.
Okay.
Konya
So,
asti.
yeah. So we see that here also in the presentation part, Shivoham, the avagraha was the akara, unpronounced akara of aham.
Yeah.
Okay. Then when you take that out, then you have the, say, in the second part of the sandhi to answer Ram's question. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyo asti. Okay.
Now,
So you have a okara. And then you know that the Shivoham Sandhi, Okara came in for Visarga. So what do? The O, you will change the O into Aha. So Anya plus Aha, the Anyo would have been before the Sandhi, Yaha. Make sense?
yes. Yeah, but I have a further question on the same one. Is what if I say konyosti and don't put the avagraha there? If I see that,
Okay.
then
yeah, if you don't see, that is why for grammatical analysis it is good to put the avagraha, because suppose there is a word sti. Okay, in this case it is okay because there is no word like just the sti without a. Okay, what if there is a word? To avoid that confusion, you put the avagraha.
okay. So this is a rule that whoever writes,
Yes,
they have to put an avagraha. That's the rule.
yes, because see, Panini doesn't say use the terminology avagraha at all. And later grammarians added this avagraha. Then they say avagraha spashta pratipattaye, for sake of clarity, spashtatva.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. So
Mahadaya,
it is a good question. When you resolve the sandhi, you have to use common sense. Maybe take an example and use that common sense. What the replaced letter would have been before the sandhi.
Mahadaya,
Okay.
I have a question.
Any other question? Yeah.
So, Arun here, it appears that to resolve the sandhi, sometimes you actually have to know what the words are, the component words.
You have to. Okay. Because when you break the sandhi, the both sides, unless the sandhi is happening within the word, in that case, you have to know what is the dhatu and what is the pratyaya or the pratipadika and pratyaya. But when you're talking about the sandhi between two words, you should, when you break the sandhi, you have to confirm that when you break it, both parts are meaningful words. Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about this because to Ram's point about avagraha missing, but in any case, it seems like somehow you have to get the sense, oh, I think it's probably kaha, it's probably anya.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yes. Because see, there is no word just like ka or ko. The valid word is kaha. There is no word ko without making the sandhi.
Okay, got it. So that's also gives you a clue, I see.
Yes. So use common sense, break it, and first thing you do when you're breaking to confirm is that both of them after breaking are legitimate words. Okay, subanta or tiṅanta or aveya. Clear?
Yes.
All right. Let's see what else we have. Okay. So as I mentioned, nobody need to worry about what is there shown in blue. Okay, that is for my reference and people who already studied all the Panini Sutras for their reference, because some people ask for those sutra numbers and other things. For the rest of you, you can just see these examples. Viṣṇu-sahasra-nāma, kshetrajñokshara, asankheyo prameyatma, nimisho nimishaha, ishto vishisha, all those things I did. Okay, like kshetrajñokshara we already did. Asankheyo prameyatma, because somebody asked the question, let's do that. Long word. So let's look at where the sandhi will have happened. Sandhi will have happened at this avagraha. You can see my cursor?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, and I said the avagraha was the unpronounced akara of the parapada. So that means when you split it, it becomes asankheyo aprameyatma. So the asankheyo, the okara was aha. So asankheyaha Aprameyatma is the answer for that, if that given as an exercise.
Yeah.
Okay, I see Nagi.
Jagdishji, is avagraha always akara, or can it be any other letter?
I think most of the times it is akara, but its usefulness is a missing or unpronounced letter.
Okay, thank you.
In this case, most of the cases, I haven't seen any other case. There may be one other case we might come across in towards the end of Swarasandhi. I have to confirm, but for the current chapter, it is always missing akara or the unpronounced akara. I don't say missing because it is there, unpronounced.
So I
Okay,
have a
Chayaji.
question. I have a question. Asankhyeya. So the yo will convert to yaha, aha.
Yes, yes.
Yaha.
So
Yaha.
you would pronounce it the asankhyeyo, aha.
No, yeah. Asankhyeyaha.
Sankheya.
Okay. Asankhyeyaha.
Yeah.
Aprameya.
Aprameyatma.
Okay.
Okay, because
Yes.
it is asankheyaha is akaranta pullinga, that's why it gets asankheyaha, one of Vishnu's name. Okay. Aprameyatma, it is not akaranta pullinga, it is the pratama ekvachana is aprameyatma, it is a nakaranta because it's like atman. Okay, just like atma. Okay, so that's not participating in sandhi. Okay, let's look at some other nimisha we discussed, ishta vishishta we discussed. Okay, Padmanabho Ravindakshaha. Okay. Now, if you have to resolve this, avagraha. So, avagraha, put it on the parapada. So, parapada with Aravindaksha makes perfect sense because we know the word Aravinda. Okay.
Aravindaksha.
On Padmanabho, we know the word Padmanabha. But here it is Padmanabho because we are into the sandhi where the result is okara. So, it was Padmanabha became Padmanabho because of the visarga a combo. Okay. Another one. Now here there's three sandhis. Let's look at the Amurti Ranagho Chintyo. Okay. So that's a visarga sandhi in Amurtihi, then Anagaha also. Okay. But Anagho Chintyo. Again, avagraha is part of the parapada. So Achintyaha is the last. Okay, second word. There's further sandhi happening. That's why achintyo. There may be another visarga sandhi depending on what word comes later. Okay. So
But
now
if
you have an idea how to
Jagdish,
break a sandhi involving avagraha. Okay, Chayaji.
I have one question, Jagdish. In this Amurti Andhyo Achintyaha, if there is no word after that, then there should be visarga instead of the yo.
If that is the last word, it would have ended with Amurti Ranago Chintyaha.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. And we know that from Viṣṇu-sahasra-nāma, this is not the end of the line.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is most likely another akaranta or some other. Because the O happens not only a ending, somewhere else also O becomes. Okay. But this is not end of the word. If it is the end of the word, you are right. It would have been achintyaha.
Okay.
Okay. Now we are done with the first number one of the Visarga Sandhi. Okay.
Jagdishji, I have one request. Will you please explain quickly this thing, asa plus a, how that...
No, I will not.
Yeah.
Okay.
That will be too much out of the scope and you don't worry about it. Unless you know it, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those who know it, they know why these things are there. Okay. I put this in here because of the bandwidth of the class. I know that there are several people in the class who are taking this course as a refresher. Okay, that keep in constant touch. So for them, it'll be useful. Okay, this he said there are 4 or 5 steps involved in that. What are the sutras? So this is just for them. So for the general class, as in the textbook, all these sutras are not mentioned. You don't worry about it. You won't miss anything. Only thing you want to remember here is that if the Purvapada ends with aha, Parapada starts with a, you will end up with the O followed by avagraha in the middle, and we saw a lot of examples. And as I mentioned, all the things are here, but discussing this will be jumping from a basic 100 level course to a 400 level course, and we don't want to do that. Okay?
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
All right. Yes, if I go there, then there's a lot of catch up. We have to go back. Okay. So, any other question other than the higher level ones?
Thank you.
Jagdish,
Yeah.
even in English, when you're doing applying the Sandhi rule, you have to write the avagraha. While
Yeah,
doing
if you're writing in English, put a apostrophe.
Oh, apostrophe. Okay.
Okay, I mentioned, I've been saying avagraha is exactly does the exactly same function of apostrophe.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and you can see that that is in the presentation. So you can see the apostrophe. Okay, avagraha is the same purpose, exact same usage.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can I
Now
ask
let's go to
one question?
Yeah.
In some cases, I came across 2 avagrahas back to back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the question? That's the statement.
So does that mean that there is an unpronounced a or?
Okay, that means if there's a 2 consecutive avagraha, that means there is 2 unpronounced akaras or 1 unpronounced akara, because a plus a will become long a.
Yeah.
Okay, as a result of some sandhi, it may be visarga sandhi, it may be savarna dirgha sandhi, or it may be one of the purva rupa or pararupa sandhi. Because of one of those, there is 1 or 2 syllables missing. Okay, missing in the sense unpronounced. If you are breaking the sandhi, it's warning you that if you are breaking the sandhi, you have to add either an akara for both the words, 1 each, or you may have to add 2 akaras or 1 dirgha a to the beginning of the second letter or to the end of the first letter. That means there are 2 unpronounced akaras or 2 or 1 unpronounced akara. Sometimes you might even find 3. Okay, because in the savarna dirgha sandhi, dirgha plus dirgha also is dirgha. Okay, so there may be 2 missing ones. 3, I don't think 3 will be shown, maybe not. But sometimes 2 is, sometimes they don't say. They don't indicate anything, but the words are so common, like I sometimes give the example. For example, you have a word Sudha plus Akaraha. Okay, so whoever asked the question, I didn't get the name. Sudha plus Akaraha. Sudha ends with the Dirgha A.
Akaraha.
2 matras.
Okay.
Akaraha starts with the 2 matras.
Okay.
Okay, so Sudhakaraha, there's a A plus A. So 4 short akaras or 4 matras are converted into 1 dirgha. 2 are, so 2 are missing, right? So you have to write Sudha and double avagraha to indicate that Purvapada ends with dirgha A and Parapada starts with dirgha A. After the reaction happens, you have only 1 dirgha A. So 2 matras, akaras are unpronounced. Okay. So that is the reason why you find more than 1 or the 2 consecutive avagrahas. Okay. Not necessarily Shivoham Sandhi, because of some other Sandhi also.
Jagdish ji, would you give an example of that? How would you pronounce it? The dirgha.
No, pronunciation, there is no difference.
Okay.
Okay, Sudhakara is dha followed by 1 dirgha a, Sudhakara. But it is Sudha, dirgha, akara, dirgha. So there's it is like a 2 dirgha akaras. 4 matras are there, but what is pronounced after the sandhi is only 2 matras. So the 2 matras are unpronounced to indicate that 2 unpronounced matras people might put two avagrahas. But Sudhakara is such a common first name, you will never see in anybody's first name avagrahas, for sure.
Jagdisha, which is be
If
the
you are doing a grammatical analysis of how the word Sudhakara came, and as an intermediate step, you might put Sudha to avagrahas and then take it out because it is so common. Yeah.
Jagdisha, this will be the same as tadatmanam srijamyaham, correct?
Exactly. Because, tada, dirgha, ending in dirgha a.
Dirgha a, da.
And atmanam, again dirgha a. Exactly same thing. But
Okay.
how many times or does Swami Tadatmanandaji put avagraha in his name?
No.
Okay. See, that's another way also. It can be Tat Atmananda also. In that case, avagraha is not there because the Purvapada doesn't end with the A. Okay. So I think Tadatmananda is Tat plus Atma, not Tada, because Tada is then. The time factor doesn't come in Tadatmananda. Okay. So that example is not valid. Two avagraha is not valid for Tadatmananda.
So can I ask a question? This is Preeti.
Yeah.
Okay.
For argument's sake, you can say Tada Atma, but not as a name of a person. Tadatma Ananda, it is not Tada and Atma, because then the question comes, Tada is then Atma, then and Atma. That doesn't make sense in a Vedanta study. Tat Atma, okay, that makes sense. But in that case, Tat plus Atma becoming Tadatma Ananda, it is just a Jastva Sandhi. There is no missing akara. Clear?
Jagdish, will you please scroll up a little bit? I want to write down something. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
While she's writing, can I ask a question? In that last example, Amurti Ranadho, is that also a sandhi there somewhere?
Yeah, there is Amurti Ranago Chincho, which will come as I think number 4 sandhi. There is a Guru Brahma sandhi. That is why Amurti Anagaha will become Amurtir Anagaha, Amurtir Anagaha.
Oh, so over there you don't put a.
No, that there it is not becoming a missing letter. It is the Visarga will become Repa.
Right. Okay.
That is the Guru Brahma sandhi. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. So I think we covered the first sandhi and answered all the questions, including double avagrahas. It's a valid question, okay? The double avagrahas. So now we will go to, okay, we got another 8 minutes. And today I have another class, so we have to close after our time. Okay, let's start with the second sandhi. Okay, the first sandhi was done. There's another thing I wanted to mention about. In the Google the folder in the miscellaneous, I have put another document with the vibhakti forms, the 3/11 vibhakti forms of Rama Shabda and Marut Shabda. I had mentioned this earlier, but I forgot to mention that I had already put that in there. And gradually, in next few weeks, just look at that and then try to by heart. Okay. When we start into Swara Sandhi, I want you guys be familiar with all the vibhaktis of the Rama Shabda and Marut Shabda. We still have a lot of time, okay? But it is there, Rama Shabda and Marut Shabda, in the miscellaneous subfolder in the Google Drive, okay?
In the WhatsApp?
No, in the Google Drive, in the Ashrama Google Drive or course Google Drive.
Okay.
Okay. So you already have the link. If not, the link is there on the top of the our WhatsApp group for all the storage, all the stored where you go for listening to the pre-recorded ones, all those things. Okay. So that is the side thing I wanted to mention. Be aware that it is there, and and slowly try to by heart those, and that is very useful for understanding sutras when we come into Swara and Vyanjana Sandhi. Okay, now let's go to the second one. Now the second one is two parts, okay? Because if you see the chart, what we done now is number 1, okay? Akara Purvapada or A Visarga Purvapada and A as the Parapada. Now let's do this second one. Purvapada ending with Aha. Parapada starting with the A and Ich. Okay, number 2. I call this as a 2A. And the second one here below, I made it as 2B. Okay, because the requirements are a little different, even though the results are same. Okay, Visarga drops, but for different reasons. Okay, so we are going to do that. This the first we will do 2A, which is Purvapada ending with Aha, A and Visarga. Parapada starting with Dirgha A or any of the other vowels. That is what we will see in the rest of this class and in the next class. So let's go and see what is there in here before we go to the presentation part. Okay, so this part is done. So we are 2A is the top line. Okay, Arjuna Uvacha Sandhi we will do first, and then we will go to the Guna Guneshu as a separate. Okay, I didn't like that she put them together. This title should have gone to the next page. Okay, Purvapada ends with Aha. Parapada starts with all the vowels except short one, short Akara. Okay, so that is the part in this page. Elision of Visarga, in both cases, Visarga is dropped. But let's look at the first case. Purvapada ends with A and Visarga. So Purvapada ending with Aha. And the Parapada starts with Dirgha A and Ich. What happens then? When a Visarga is preceded by Hraswa A and followed by Dirgha A or any other vowel. That means any vowel other than short A, because short A is already covered in number 1. That is the only reason. Okay, that is why it doesn't belong in this. If that is the combination, the Visarga is elided. Elided means it is not pronounced, or we generally call it as Visarga is dropped. Okay, so this is the popular Arjuna Uvacha Sandhi. Arjuna Uvacha, Arjuna Uvacha. Okay, example number 4. These are all made up examples because she started with the A, I, U, all the way up, and Purvapada she kept constant as Arjuna, and made up a word that starts with A, I, U, E, like that. Okay, and made the Sandhi. Okay, that is the example. Okay, so Arjuna agacchati, Arjuna agacchati. You can see that Purvapada ends with Aha. Parapada starts with A, E, U, all the vowels. Okay, and in all the cases, the change is the Visarga is dropped. Okay, so we'll go to the mechanics in the presentation part. I did the same thing there, but let's look at what are here. You know what are the Purvapada, what is the Parapada, what is the result going to be. Okay, so let's look at this one of the examples. Ramaha. These are all very made up words. Okay, let's look at Kamaha Aihikaha. Okay, so Kamaha, so Purvapada ends with the Kamu plus Aha. Purvapada, okay, Purvapada is Purvavarna is satisfied. Aihikaha. So what kind of abbreviation I belong to?
Ich.
I is an ich. Okay. See, I is an ach also. But in this sutra, it is I is an ich. Okay. Because it's a swara, it's I ich. And it can be, subset. A big abbreviation might have so many other smaller abbreviations. Okay. So Purvapada ending with Aha, Parapada starting with the ich. You end up with the Visarga dropping and remaining as it is. Okay, so Ramaha Aihikaha or Kamaha Aihikaha will become Kama Aihikaha. Visarga drops. That is the only change. Okay.
Only the Purpada Visarga drops, right?
Yeah, only with the parapada visarga, there is no other word given here. So you can't end up you can't discuss the visarga of kaha because there is nothing after that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the completion of the word, it is given there.
Yeah.
Okay? That is way far away from the plus sign to take part in this or do anything here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And resolving the sandhi. Let's look at one example here. I'm going to go back because the mechanism we haven't talked about in the presentation. If not today, next class we'll start with the presentation. That is why I wanted to finish this page so that you can work on the homework of this also. Okay?
Yes.
So antavantaha ime. Okay, resolving the sandhi. Antavantaha ime. Okay. Now antavanta ime. So that means the visarga dropped. So you where will you put the visarga? At the end of antavantaha. Okay. So it makes sense because antavantaha is a valid word ending with prathama vibhakti ekavachana, ends with the visarga. Okay. Or easier one is a yoga uchyate. Yoga uchyate, yoga uchyate. Purvapada ends with aha visarga. Parapada starts with one of the vowels, which is not short a. So it will result in the number 2a of the Arjuna Uvacha kind of Visarga Sandhi. Okay, Yoga Uchyate, Arjuna Uvacha, there is no change. Both of them starting with U. Okay, so you do both these exercises. Okay. And check yourself or ask somebody over the phone, is this right? Okay, get it clarified. This is a simple homework, so it should be very easy and there are a lot of examples given and most of the words are, and then, this is topic wise, so it is very easy. Once we are done with all the sandhis, I am going to give a set of sandhi exercises. I will mix and match. Then you may have to think a little bit. Okay. Now it should be very simple. Okay. Let's do the prayers. I don't think we need to present the prayers. Let's do the concluding prayers. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. So if there's any questions, you can keep it for the next class or ask it in the WhatsApp group because I have another class at 7:30. Okay. Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you.